This is the Two Scrappy Chicks podcast where life is messy, the stories are real, and we dare to talk about it anyway.
Oh, so behind. Okay. Real Housewives of London. We are almost to the finish. Okay, episode 7. Juliet apologized to Amanda. This is Juliet Mayhew, because they're still at the little luncheon, and Amanda says, "You chose sides." And um, I thi- she said, "Can be civil in a group, but I know who she is." Okay. Um, Panthea's son, Amir, um, was calling his mama. And then next we see Amanda and her dog, Monty, and she's brushing him. And then we see Juliet, and Juliet called out Amanda. Nessie is with her friend, Ventia. Um, it's a event of beauty product, excuse me, of beauty products. And she invited Karen and Amanda. And sadly, our condolences to Karen and her family. Her sister passed away. She was 51. So sad. But Karen came to the beauty event, and um, you know, it's sad when a sibling loses a sibling. One of my close friends lost her sibling. It's really sad. I have several, and I only talked to one. Um, while my siblings are still alive, I have mourned the loss of them already. If you have estrangement in your family, you would get what I'm saying. It's sad. And as I've said in the past before, I have tried anything and everything to have a relationship, but it gets tiring when you're always the one doing the communicating, the calling, the texting, and it's been like that. I mean, I don't know how long. So I guess even family members can not give a crap about you. Okay, moving on. Juliet, which I'm gonna say the Aussie Juliet, invited the girls to Scotland to the castle her and her husband are investors in. Cool. And who is doing an IV drip? Oh, man, they're still at the that beauty thing. Amanda says to Nessie, "Will you be my friend instead of Juliet? I want to steal you." Ooh, excuse me. Yep, there's the yawn. And apparently, Amanda went on a date last week, and he's a top King's Counsel. And they're so busy, but they will have a second date, but they're just so busy. Okay. Um, Juliet Angus. That's American Juliet. Um, her and Panthea went to the Gray Wolf and they booked a session of sound, the sound bowl healing. And I don't think Panthea really was digging it. I've been to a sound bowl thing before, and I think it's pretty cool. So you should try it if you haven't done a sound bowl thing. Okay. So, um, Juliet Angus is hoping that Julius Angus, that's the American Juliet. She's hoping Amanda and her can coexist in the castle. And what's this about Amanda? Oh, Amanda said, oh, Dorinda. Uh, if you know who Dorinda is, she's from the Real Housewives of New York. And Dorinda at one time did live in London. So her and Amanda have lunch. I'm going to guess it's lunch. It could be dinner, but I'm going to guess it's lunch. And they get to talking, and Amanda says that she was called street smart, and she didn't like it. Dorinda said she was called a white witch and said it's a good thing. And Amanda was like, huh, because Amanda was called the White Witch by Juliet Angus in past episode. And because Dorinda asked her who called you that, and she told her. And um, Dorinda says, I didn't know you knew her. And Amanda tells her what happened at the picnic. And Dorinda said she doesn't talk to her either and that she runs her mouth. Okay. All right. Okay. So the girls are on the private jet that Juliet Mayphew has chartered for them to go to the castle. Juliet, American Juliet, which is Juliet Angus, has caviar and says, hey, I got caviar. She got Amanda to smile. And Juliet's like, do you use my discount? And Amanda's like, oh, yes, I do. Okay. What is with the London girls and the caviar? I just can't. Oops. What was that? Oh, dropped my headphones. Okay. So they take two cars, and of course, Amanda's in a different car from Juliet Angus, the American Juliet. And they said, "Oh, that was nice to her with the caviar." And she's like, "Oh, yes, sweet gesture. She misses me." I'm just like, "Oh my God, are we full of ourselves or what?" And then Juliet, American Juliet, is in the other car and says, "I can forgive but not forget," and that she was hurt. And Karen told her, "You two need to sit down." Okay, so now Juliet Mayphew, that's Aussie Juliet, says she's the Queen of Hearts, and because they get to the castle, bagpipes are playing. And then there's Paul, the proprietor, and the name of the castle is Glenap. So he greets them. Uh, Juliet shows them the main room, and then she shows the girls to her rooms. Now, next, they're going to play the Highland Games. There's two teams: Amanda, Pinthia, Juliet Mayphew, Karen, and Karen. Okay. Or is that one, two, three? Okay. Why am I missing? Okay. One, two, three, four. All right. Why do you feel like I'm missing somebody's name? Because it should be even. All right. So anyway, there's two teams. And maybe it's 3 and 3. And they do a wheel barrel thing, like an obstacle course. And then it's Karen, Nessie, and Amanda. Um, Amanda wins? No. I I can't remember. Am I don't know what is with my writing. I'm so sorry. Okay, so then they do this flip a log thing where they're like flipping like over a log and kind of almost like a shot put, like doing the distance, and Nessie wins. Then they do tug of war, and Karen, Nessie, um, and Juliet. That's why I put JA. Juliet, American Juliet, win the tug of war. And Amanda broke her uh, diamond bracelet. It said it was 50 euros, which is equivalent to 58,000. Why would you wear that expensive bracelet when you're doing these games? So, um, and then Juliet Mayhew gives the girls medals that won. And then they're getting glam to get ready for dinner tonight. And then again, they have the Scottish band playing for the ladies. And both Amanda and Juliet, American Juliet, are in red. And the dinner is inside. And the girls gifted Juliet Mayhew a Labubu. If you know what that is, it's a little collector's thing that's, I think it's still popular. And then Nessie, um, they say to Nessie, your guns are amazing, meaning her arms. And then Amanda blamed Panthea for losing and that she was making rude comments to her. And um, I, I guess eas- it's easy to say Amanda's offended easily, like she can't take a joke. Okay, so um, she gets kind of nasty with Panthea. I don't think this was nice. She tells her to get a job, and she's like, I have 4 kids. And then Juliet, American Juliet, jumps in, and Amanda says, um, pretty much don't butt in. And Juliet says, I met you when you were living in a basement, awaiting for your settlement. Just remember that. Okay. And then Amanda was calling her a liar. And then Juliet Mayhew says, stop. And then Amanda calls her the American Juliet start. So she kept going, even though Juliet Mayhew said stop. They're in a castle. There's other people there in other rooms. Called her a pea brain and a stupid idiot, and claims, um, and Amanda claims she always had a job, and that Juliet, American Juliet, is washed up, weak, and a has been influencer and a better criminal. Okay. And then she calls Amanda a monster. So that ends that episode, which was 7. And like I said, they're not the only ones in this castle. And the way that they're acting and going back and forth, and poor Juliet Mayhew trying to say, enough, enough, enough. And they're not getting it. So episode 8 continues with this. And Juliet Mayhew's embarrassed. and said, "We will have to leave the castle if this doesn't stop." And Amanda said something about, "I have 4 homes and a boat, and you live in a dump." And Nessie said, "Stop it." So, um, Nessie and, well, Juliet, American Juliet, gets up to go to the bathroom, and Nessie follows her and has a talk with her and reassures her that, people do respect you. And then back at the table, Amanda calls her Juliet, American Juliet, a lowlife. Okay. And no, she wasn't my best friend. Okay. I don't know how they got on the subject, but Panthea was talking about how she weighed 105 pounds after she had her daughter, 2 weeks after, and that she's got good metabolism. And then, of course, Amanda has to say, "Oh, 6 weeks after I had my child, I was modeling." And Panthea's like, "All about you, Amanda." And, you know, take off that makeup and put your hair up and let's see what you look like. Amanda to Panthea, you have such a, oh God, what did she say? Such a something reputation. Oh, sorry. Swinging reputation with friend in Marlowe. People say that she is swinging. Persian swinging, going to Persian swinging parties. Okay. And then it's funny, each girl during their one-on-one interview made a comment about that. Um, Juliet, American Juliet says, "No, I don't care." Or she says, "No, they're not." Or no, she's not. Um, and then Juliet Mayhew says, "I don't care and I or want to know." Nessie says, um, she she didn't believe it either. And then Karen goes, "Oh, no wonder she wanted to meet my husband." That one was funny. Okay. So after this, Panthea gets disgusted. This is during dinner. She gets up and calls Amanda the B word and says, "I cannot sit at this table and eat with somebody like you." And Amanda said she's tired of being attacked and bullied and jealousy. Um, Amanda seems to be self-centered. And then, of course, they're reminded guests are in the other room, and they say that their room is being very loud and noisy. So you see Panthea going out in the hallway looking for how do you get upstairs? I'm lost. I would be too. That's a big castle that they're at. Okay. And Juliet, um, Mayhew, Aussie Juliet says that breakfast will be in the penthouse where she's staying in the morning. Okay. And later on, American Juliet comes to Juliet and Nessie in the room. She's upset. What is what is Amanda so unhappy about and sad to go for somebody's kids? Because you don't go for somebody's kids, say anything bad. Nessie said that Amanda acted like a child. And then I guess I guess that's same night after the dinner, Karen did call Amanda and said, "Sorry you had to defend yourself." And I was just like, does she not see what the other girls are seeing? And um, I just feel like a mean girl thing with Amanda. And just, well, Amanda and Nessie get into it, and Nessie said, "Stop it." And Amanda, her and her pick a side, pick a side. And I was like, why? Why does she do that? Why does she feel that everyone has to pick a side? Did you ever think maybe people don't want to get into it? And then Juliet Mayhew says you got to pull it together. And um, I just don't see why Karen sees that. She thinks Amanda's getting ganged up on when I feel that she started it. Panthea comes in, Amanda leaves, see ya, Felicia. American Juliet comes in and she's like, I'm not gonna go there. This tit for tat has to stop. So then Juliet Mayhew says 11:15, wellies don't wear heels. And then someone says Karen is Amanda's puppy dog. Okay. So, um, they first go to this trainer who has an eagle, and you have to wear this real heavy glove on, and the eagle will land on your arm. The eagle came. Sorry, I would have freaked out. I know. Excuse me, I know Juliet, American Juliet, kind of got freaked out because the bird landed on her hair, and this is a huge frickin' bird. Well, Amanda didn't like that, and she didn't want no bird landing on her, so she walked away. She goes, I don't want that in my hair. Well, Panthea went to go talk to her, and pretty much said, we shouldn't pass gossip on each other and that, and actually, I'm sorry, it was Amanda that says we shouldn't talk the gossip. We really shouldn't pass gossip on each other. And I'm thinking, okay, the pot calling the kettle black, blah, 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 right? Amanda, my truth is real. Ha, 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 whatever. Okay. So in one van is Amanda, Karen, and Panthea, and the other one is Nessie and the two Juliets. And then Nessie was saying her nickname was after the Loch Ness Monster. So then they go on a boat ride. It's a sea safari to a private island, and they have a nice picnic lunch with lobster and champagne. And supposedly this island is like 60 million years old. And then Nessie brings up about how Amanda went on a date, and that's when she said, "Oh yeah, there will be another date, but both of us have been super busy." Okay. Panthea talked about a date back in the day that she went on that she paid the first time, and she's like, "Okay, this is strange." So then she went out with the person again, and she got smart. She ordered the most expensive bottle of wine and then says, "Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom." And she left. And then he was like calling her, texting her, "Are you gonna pay half?" And she's just like, I mean, that was her whole thing of why she left, because she was like, dude, that's not cool. So yeah, I thought that was a funny story. And then, um, oh, but she said he called her like 26 times before she finally was just like, yeah, sure. Um, guys can be jerks, right? Okay. And oh, Juliet, American Juliet, tells how she met Gregor, her husband, that they met in San Francisco and they got married in Napa. And I believe how they met, did they have like a mutual friend? I can't remember what the setting was, how they met. And um No. Okay. And then somehow Amanda and Juliet, American Juliet, I think it's when American Juliet said about, how her dad died recently and how it's been hard. And Amanda actually has a heart, said that, she was sorry and that. And then supposedly now they're gonna be nicey nice and we'll see how long that lasts. Okay? No digs, right? Okay. Like I said, we'll see. All right. Um, and then after dinner, they go to dance, and Amanda's annoyed by the bagpipes. Oh, this was still the dinner, sorry. Where they played the bagpipes that Amanda got uh annoyed with, and then they have haggis, and I keep hearing different things of what haggis is. I wrote down lip and a-holes of sheep balls, but I may be wrong because I thought I heard on another podcast it was like some of their organs. I don't know. I know I wouldn't be having it. Okay. So, um, you know, after um Amanda had said to Juliet, again, I'm sorry about your dad, then Juliet said to Karen, I know what you're going through. And then next, the girls do dancing. It's just like the second time they did dancing. I don't remember the other housewives doing a little dance thing. And it's Scottish dancing. I thought it was cute. Okay, so did I go through 3 episodes? I felt like I skipped one. Nope. Okay, so 7, I mark it. Okay, and 8. Oh, that's right. There are only 2 episodes. I was getting mixed up that 3 episodes. 3 episodes is Married at First Sight. Oh my God, so much. But Married at First Sight, which I'll be doing the recap next, that is ending. So yeah, so that's where it ended. The girls dancing to the Scottish dancing. So that was what, 8, 7 and 8. So we got 9 and 10, and then 2 reunions. So, all right. Oh, geez, I still have to do OC, Big Brother, and Married at First Sight. So let's hope there's not a lot of yawning. If so, I'm sorry. All right. Till next time. We really appreciate you hanging out with the 2 scrappy chicks today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, download, and share it with a friend. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, just let us know.